guys, I'm Penina Mwangi here with my fellow colleagues, and today we are having a discussion on Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. But before we start, I would request my fellows to introduce themselves.
Hi guys, I'm Escc Commissioners, a student at Mount Kenya University.
And I'm Lilian Odor, a student at MK.
I'm Dickens Odiam as well, a student.
Yeah, you are welcome all as you're having this great discussion. And we are tackling about corruption, which has been a huge blow in our country, Kenya, and of which our president has pledged to tackle it. So as we start with our brother Boniface, can you tell us, how do you understand by the name ESCC?
ESCC stands for Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. It's a statutory body established under Section 3 of ESCC, Act number 22 of 2011, pursuant to Article 79 of the Kenyan Constitution. Okay, ESCC got its own mandate. The mandate is first of all, there is combat and prevention of corruption. This happens through there is law enforcement. Okay, if you are found guilty or violation of the laws, then action is taken so that they can curb the corruption. Another thing, they educate people. They tell people the dangerous of once getting into corrupt. For example, if you get corrupt, then you get jailed. So people are being educated on the dangerous of involving themselves in the corrupt practices.
Wow, excellent, Mr. Boniface. Then we go to Madam Lilian. Here we are going to tell us more about Escc Commissioners.
Okay, ESCC is composed of the commissioners and the secretariat. The commissioners are 5 members, deputized by the vice chairperson, and the secretariat is composed of is headed by the secretary, who is also deputized by the 2 deputy secretaries. So the commissioners, headed by the Mr. Eliud retired Wabukala, and her vice chair is Sophia Lepuchirit. The secretary general of the commission is Twalib Barak, and the 2 commissioners, Mwaniki Gashoka and Sophia Mugoi. Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Lilian. Then we go to our brother Dickens. Hereby you are going to tell us challenges. Which are these challenges that are you facing in this body of ESCC?
Okay, thank you very much for the time. Although the ESC body is meant, the kingpin for formation of this body is curbing corruption in the country, there are challenges that are facing this body. The very first challenge is corruption. Corruption comes in that those who are working within this commission are also corrupt. They will also wish to receive money in favor of those who are corrupt, those who have been reported to be sentenced. They will wish to receive money from them so that they are favored. The second one is slow judicial process. The ESC Commission is fixed to work within certain hours or duration, so they cannot work every other day, so the process may be slow. Another one is working within weak legal frames. There are legal frames that the ESC Commission should operate under, but those who are in charge, they are not putting them into practice. They are not making them permanent to operate within those legal frameworks. That is another problem. Another problem is the procedure of implementing what the Auditor General has reported. This comes in that some officials within this commission may think that the report from the Auditor General may rather cost them or harm them in any other way. So they will wish to alter that process of implementing. That becomes another problem. Then another problem which is a very big one, becomes political influence. Politicians will wish to hinder the operation of these commissions so that they are favored, because we know most of Kenyan politicians are reported to be corrupt. So if the ESC Commission decides to operate within the straight line, then most of the politicians may have themselves arrested or rather jailed. So they will come in to hinder this operation to allow them squander the resources available. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dickens. And to Madam Lillian, we have seen that there are technical services and political services which are overseen by the deputy secretaries. Which are these types of technical services?
Okay, when I said that the commissioners is composed of the Escc Commission is composed of the commissioners and the secretariat. The secretariat, headed by the secretary, who is also deputized by the two secretaries. The two secretaries, one oversees the legal services and the other one the technical services. So I'll be discussing the technical services, which is composed of also the four directorates. One of them being preventive. How are they able to formulate the laws that govern them in their due course of work? How are they able to go about doing their work without being able to go through any challenge or maybe be biased in their doings? When you talk about ethics, which is also another part of the directorate, ethics and integrity, how ethical are they in their view to come up with a corruption case, in their view to evaluate the evidence they have? And when I talk about it's also the legal, what are they doing to be able to discuss the issues before them? How are they going? Are they following the laws? Are they doing their issues well? Or maybe are they taking the issues they are given with another conviction in them?
Wow, thank you, Lillian. And our brother Boniface, are you conversant with these corporate services?
Okay, yeah. Corporate services, first of all, I will start with the finance and the planning. In these services, there's finance, there's the allocation of certain amount of money, so that the services can be carried well in sectors, in different sectors. So there's that finance and the planning, and those there's a good plan so that the services can be known when it will take place, at which time, and at that time it should be at the best time, so that the services cannot be hidden to those. The first of that, the first corporate services. Then there's another second one, that is human resource and administration, the directorate. That's the two services that are done by the corporate services.
Wow, you have explained all these points well. And now I want to come to a point where I have a case, and a corruption case. Our brother Dickens, how do I report this case, knowing that I'm very safe reporting this case to the body?
Okay, thank you for another time. As you know, AEC is a body that is meant to gather information regarding corruption that occurs within the government. There are now sources that they will use to gather this information. It can be members of the public, those working in both private or public sectors, and so many. And now there are contacts that you can use to report the cases to the Escc Commissions. The first one is anonymous. Anonymous now is a situation where you report to the Escc Commission about any corruption issue through hidden identity. For example, you can use somebody who is not known to the public to report to the Escc Commission, and by the time he or she will be addressing the Escc, the identity may be distorted, or rather you avoid disclosing the face. The next one is emailing. Emailing is simply writing an email in your phone, then composing it, then you send. The next one is by phone. Phone may be text, or you can as well call. Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Dickens. Now, Boniface, where are these offices?
Okay, the offices are in various places. For example, there's at office at Nyeri. At Coast you can find the office at Malindi. Another one, it's found at Mombasa, within the Mombasa. And then you can find another one at Central. You can find the office at Bungoma. Yeah, those are where you can find them.
Wow, and now I come to a general question. We have heard more about corruption and many things in our country, Kenya. Like now, if I ask, what are the current affairs now, the current issues that are trending relating to corruption in Kenya?
About 2 months, I think one month and 2 weeks ago, we had Mr. Mbuvi, Mike Sonko, who was impeached by the Senate. He was unable to explain what transpired in his county. I mean, he was being asked to explain how about the money he had used in his county, and he was not able to come up with an elaborate answer to give the Senate. At that particular time, he did not even have sufficient evidence to show what he did with the money, because he was told he had misused the tenders he was giving to the companies involved, and the evidence was not even clear at that time how the money was used, how the money had been spent, and he was unable to explain the procedure during the Senate proceeding at that time. That was one of the issues that led him to be impeached, because he did not even have the evidence. At the same time, the corruption was so heated at that time, the money could not be found, the evidence could not be found. That was beyond the reasonable doubt that the Senate could have just removed at the time.
Wow, any other affairs?
Okay, there's this Kimwarara Dam scandal. Okay, there's these two people. There's cabinet secretary by that time, Henry Rotich, and his principal secretary, Kamau Dhuge. Okay, there was this case about there was this money that they were told that they had stolen. This money was meant for the construction of dam, that's Kimwarara Dam. Okay, both of them, they were taken to the court and the charges were done, but up to now, you can see the delayment of the one of the challenges that facing ESCC, the delayment of the delayment of those people, that if they are found corrupt, what the steps are being taken. Okay, they were found, maybe they were found guilty, and then Henry Rotich was replaced by another cabinet secretaries, and then they were forced out of their office.
Wow, we have heard so many about the corruption body and the challenges, many things its body, with how they operate. Then we come to the last question. If all these things are met, or if all these things are the ones that are happening, what are the possible remedies to eradicate this blow of corruption in Kenya?
Okay, what I can say is that, if, for example, if you are found corrupt, if you are found corrupt, maybe you should be jailed forever, so that it can be the lesson to others, or else even be killed, because this is the taxpayers' money that you can get into your pocket. And those, if for example of the Kimwarara Dam, the construction was not completed. Why? Because the money that are allocated to complete that project was stolen by few individuals. So if maybe you'll be jailed forever, to be a lesson to others, and for example even killed, so that you can be an example to others who may try to be corrupt. And maybe another thing is that if you are before corrupt, you should not be accepted to vie for any seat. But in Kenya, I see that, for example, the governor of Kiambu County, he had an issue about the 100, I'm not sure about the money, but it was around approximately 100 billion. And then the same person, when he heard that there was a vacant at Nairobi, when the Sonko was impeached, he wanted to go and vie for that seat, gubernatorial seat. It should not be allowed. If you are before corrupt, you should not be allowed to vie for any seat.
Oh, the former governor.
Yeah, the former governor of Kiambu County.
Okay. I also have a point to add. I think the corrupt people or corrupt MPs in office, when found guilty, they should be liable. I mean, the government should save if the capability of the man involved or the person involved in corruption can pay the amount of the money is being accused of. For example, if it is 100 M and the said person has over 100 M worth property, they should save that and replace the money he has stolen. That should be one of the reasons these people will see that this corruption is a serious case. Or maybe they're not allowed into power again. For example, the case of the one which my colleague has mentioned, like Waititu, he still went ahead and wanted to vie for that seat, knowing very well that he was impeached because of corruption. So I think MPs, if found guilty, should not be allowed to vie for any seat, and also their property should be seized. Should be seized to replace the amount they have stolen, so that they should know that this is very serious, I should not be doing this. But if they are lenient with them, they'll be stealing the money involved with the public and also going free and knowing that it is normal to just steal the public money and still go scot-free. That is not right, according to me.
I wish to add another point. Another perfect example that justifies a trend that can possibly curb this corruption is a situation that was previously witnessed in Kenya. Is that a situation where the Kenyan government eliminated those who were considered corrupt. An example is Mr. Rashid Echesa, formerly holding the sports docket. The moment that guy was the moment the national government realized that Echesa was corrupt, he was kicked out of that docket and currently is no longer holding the docket. I think that is another example.
Wow, that is so nice. You have cooperated very well, and I'm happy for having a great discussion. And you have seen that corruption has been rampant in our country, Kenya. And because our president has pledged to tackle it, it will maybe, if he succeeds, it will make him leave a great legacy in Kenya. And despite of all these dozens of arrests, we have seen that this anti-corruption body has not yet led any high-profile conviction. And with that, we ask our government or our state to have good standards or good follow-ups, good restrictions towards this thing for us to have a big and a good country to live in. We want to say thank you for this discussion and wish you well as you meet the next discussion. Thank you.